Hello and welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted to be joined by Greg as we react to the weigh-in of the biggest fight in a sense on the 5v5 card in Saudi Arabia tomorrow night. Greg, it's Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang. It's the big guys in boxing. Is usually with a heavyweight weigh-in, I don't think there's too much to talk about. But as we were just speaking off camera, I think there's quite a bit to talk about. So we'll get straight into things. Deontay Wilder, 214.6 pounds. Zhilei Zhang, 282.8 pounds, 68 pound weight difference, nearly 5 stone. Greg, first off, Deontay Wilder, when we seen him, in the sort of Tyson Fury trilogies, he was around sort of the 230 pound mark. He come in at 213 pound against Joseph Parker. Did you expect Wilder to come in light for this fight?
Great to speak to you as always, Owen. It was a tough one. I maybe expected him to come in a little bit heavier because Zhang is a big man. But I think you've got to give it up to Deontay Wilder. If he's coming in at that weight, he knows even if he's at that weight, he is still one of, if not the most murderous punchers in heavyweight history. He's not a guy that needs a lot of extra weight. I felt with the Tyson Fury fights, maybe the weight, yeah, it didn't make him as effective as he normally is. So it's quite frightening that he's 5 stone lighter than a guy he's fighting tomorrow. But you just need to trust him on, and if he feels that that's his best weight and he's still carrying the power, then we've got to go with that.
Yeah, I think it's more than fair. I think whatever weight he is, whether he's 210 pound, whether he's 240 pound, or whether he's 270 pound, that right hand's still going to be destructive. It's going to land at some point. So I think the case of, to me, it almost seems as if he comes in at this lighter weight that we've seen him at in recent times, if Zhang tires, as we have seen him, that right hand lands, it's good night. With Zhang, 282 pounds, about what I expected personally around that mark. Was you surprised? Did you think he'd prepare differently for Wilder? Or do you think it's a case of, as we said off camera, he just means business as always? Is he coming in, get Wilder out early and get the job done?
Yeah, it's a good question, on because I think I recall them saying that he's nearly a stone lighter than the weight he was when he fought Joseph Parker. And I think he knows he's dealing with a bit of speed here. Deontay Wilder isn't the most technically gifted boxer in the world, but they say speed kills. So Zhang coming in that little bit lighter, that will help him try and keep up with Wilder. If he's got to block that little bit quicker, move out of the way of shots, your body weight's that little bit lighter. It's making it easier for you. Still a big, massive man, but I think it's smart from Zhang. I think his team probably anticipated that Wilder was going to come in light because he needs to use his movement. So I think it's probably a good weight for Zhang. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree again. If he come in sort of, like you say, maybe a stone heavier, like you said, the speed of Wilder, that get out of jail free card that Deontay Wilder's got in that right hand, he puts himself in that risky situation. Now, it almost sounds a cliche question, but whether you're a heavyweight or not, we know there's going to be big weight sort of differences. It's the way heavyweights are. 5 stone is a big difference, no matter who you are. Do you think that will make a major difference in the fight? If Zhang gets a hold of Wilder, if Zhang can put his weight on Wilder, and if he can push forward and almost box him into a corner, do you think that weight difference will make a huge advantage?
Deontay Wilder's got 4 rounds in this fight. On 4 rounds, if he doesn't get Zhang out inside 4, this is only going one way for me. With that weight difference, with how effective and aggressive Zhang is, Deontay Wilder has 4 rounds in this fight.
That leads me on to the next question. I was going to finish with what is your prediction? I think the viewers now know what your prediction is, Greg. But if you could let us know how you think this fight is going to finish.
On I do think that I have a way the fight's going to go, but I'm not overly confident. I mean, I'm doubting the hardest punching heavyweight in history, in my opinion, here, because if he lands early, he's either going to break his hand on that rock solid head that Zhang looks as though he has, or he's probably going to knock Zhang into a world of trouble. Um, I just think that this one might catch fire early. He's not going to be able to run away from Zhang forever, which means he's going to have to fight him. And I just, I just see Zhang stopping Deontay Wilder tomorrow night. There's just too many advantages going on. The weight, the experience, amateur pedigree, the way that Deontay Wilder has been talking. I know that he said some confident things, but he keeps referring to retirement. I just think this goes to Zhang by stoppage tomorrow night.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm fairly confident in a Zhang stoppage. I think Wilder's checked out. I think he's almost, being Eddie Hearn's captain, it's almost a case of he has to be saying these things of that he's still interested. But I think mentally he's checked out. We've seen him recently in the media saying he's earned the money he needs to earn. He's done what he needs to do in boxing. And when you start talking like that, when not necessarily when obviously you say like your life could be in danger in there, but the fact of when you're going in as a heavyweight against such a hard hitter in Zhang, someone who's technically underrated, and we've seen what he done to Joe Joyce, the man who everyone thought couldn't be stopped, had an iron
Yeah,
jaw, and absolutely splattered him all over the ring. Um, Going into a fight like this with that mentality just ends in one way for myself. But let us know what you think down below in the comments, guys. Do you think Deontay Wilder is going to make a statement? Is this Wilder's night to come back? Is this Zhang's big, big night where he gets that huge, huge name on his record? Let us know in the comments down below. Let us know what you think's next for either of these fighters. Check out all our fight week content. We've got loads of videos on the 5v5 card, including our quick fire final predictions set to be released later tonight. Greg, thank you for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to an incredible card.
thank you so much, Owen.